I was warned to stay out of the old house in the woods. People said it was cursed, that something inside never lets you leave the same. But I went in anyway, and now something has followed me back. I should have left when I had the chance. After what I saw in that attic, the thing with the stitched mouth and bleeding eyes, I ran. I didn't care that the floorboards groaned beneath me, or that the front door that was once jammed somehow creaked open, like it wanted me to go. But I didn't go home. I sat in my car for nearly an hour, with my hands shaking on the steering wheel, staring at the house from the rear view mirror. The woods surrounding it looked darker than before. Not night dark, but wrong dark, like light didn't belong there anymore. I told myself I was done with it. But that night, something followed me. When I got home, the lights in my apartment flickered as I walked in. I live on the 3rd floor, where there's no trees, no power lines nearby. No reason for the outage. I brushed it off until I got to my bedroom. On my pillow was a single pine needle, the same kind I stepped on in the woods behind the house. That was impossible. I hadn't brought anything with me. I changed my shoes before getting in the car. I hadn't been near trees since. That night, I dreamed of the attic again. Only this time, I was standing in the corner, staring at myself. I woke at 3:07 a.m., gasping, drenched in sweat. My apartment was dead silent, but something felt off. I don't mean in a weird vibes kind of way. I mean like the air was wrong. It was thicker and heavier, like I was breathing through wet cotton. Then I heard it. A soft creak coming from my hallway. I froze. My bedroom door was closed. I hadn't opened it since I got home. The creak came again. Then footsteps, slow, deliberate, and dragging. I reached for my phone, but the screen was black. No light, no sound, just a dead rectangle in my hand. Then 3 knocks. Not on my bedroom door, but on my closet door. I wanted to scream, to run, but all I could do was sit there, frozen, listening as the doorknob turned, ever so slightly, and stopped. Morning came like a flood of mercy. Sunlight poured in and everything looked normal. My phone worked again. The hallway was empty. But when I finally got the courage to open the closet, the inside was covered in muddy pine needles, and something was scratched into the wood. Come back. I called out of work that day. There was no way I could focus, not after what I saw. I spent the entire morning scrubbing the closet clean, wiping the mud, covering the scratches, throwing out anything that looked remotely like it had come from the woods. But when night came, I couldn't stop thinking about the house. Not just thinking, but hearing it. Somewhere deep in my head, I heard the creak of its stairs, the low hum of wind that never stopped howling outside its boarded windows, and the sound of something pacing the attic. By midnight, I was back in my car. I didn't even remember deciding to go. I just blinked and found myself driving through the same forest trail, headlights barely cutting through the darkness. The trees looked closer now, like they leaned toward the road, watching. The house stood ahead, just as rotten and empty as before, but now the front door was wide open. I stepped out, flashlight trembling in my hand. The air smelled like mildew and rot, like something had died and never left. I should have turned back. Every instinct screamed at me, but something stronger pulled me forward. Inside, the walls seemed to pulse. The wallpaper was peeling more than last time. The floorboards groaned under every step like the house was alive and did not want me there. I made my way to the attic. Of course I did. And when I reached the top of the stairs, I saw it again. That thing. Stitched mouth, black eyes, bent like its joints didn't fit inside its body, but this time, it moved. Its head tilted. The stitched lips quivered like it was trying to speak. And then I heard it, but not with my ears. A voice inside my head. You were supposed to stay. I tried to move, run, scream, anything, but my body refused. It was like gravity had shifted, pulling me toward that thing in the corner of the attic. Every part of me screamed to look away, but I couldn't. Its eyes weren't just black. They were holes, deep, endless, pulling at something inside me. And the longer I stared, the more I felt like it was taking something from me, my memories, my thoughts, my name. I staggered backward, my heel catching on a broken plank. I crashed hard to the floor, breath knocked out of me. The flashlight rolled from my hand, spinning wildly, and just for a second, it lit up something behind the creature. Another figure. It was tall, thin, and wearing a cracked porcelain mask. It wasn't there a second ago, and then, like a whisper in my spine, I realized it had been there the whole time, watching. The masked figure raised one long arm and pointed to me. Then, the attic door slammed shut. I scrambled to my feet with my heart pounding like a war drum. The creature took a step forward. The stitched mouth began to rip open thread by thread, oozing black. I grabbed the flashlight, aimed it at the window, and with every ounce of strength I had, I hurled it. The glass shattered and the cold night air rushed in, and I didn't think twice. I just jumped. I hit the bushes hard. Branches tore at my arms and legs as I tumbled down a slope behind the house. My vision blurred. Blood soaked my sleeves. But I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't stop until I saw headlights. A passing truck skidded to a halt, horn blaring. The driver jumped out, shouting, but I couldn't hear him. All I could hear was the voice still echoing in my skull. You were supposed to stay. The truck driver took me to the nearest ER. I barely remember the ride, just flashes of overhead lights, the sterile smell of the hospital, and my hands shaking uncontrollably. They ran tests, asked questions, but I couldn't tell them the truth. What could I say? That a stitched-mouth creature and a masked figure tried to trap me in an abandoned attic. They chalked it up to exhaustion. Maybe a mental break, gave me pills and told me to rest. But rest doesn't come easy when your dreams bleed into your waking life. Every night since, I've heard that attic door creak open. Even in my apartment. Even when I'm sure I locked every door and window. I hear footsteps pacing above me when I know no one else lives upstairs. It doesn't show up right away, it waits quietly. Sometimes I see it in the mirror just for a second, while other times I hear light tapping on my bedroom window when I'm lying in the dark, too scared to move. I've even caught glimpses of that white porcelain mask out of the corner of my eye. But every time I look straight at it, there's always nothing there. At least, that's how it was until last night. I woke up at exactly 3:13 a.m., the same time I saw those black, empty eyes in the attic. I sat up with my heart pounding, and there it was, standing at the foot of my bed. The stitched mouth figure, motionless and head tilted, and behind it the man in a porcelain mask. He didn't speak. He just raised a finger and pressed it against the spot where his lips would be. Shh. I haven't slept since. I don't think I can. That house, or whatever it is, leaves something on you because once you step inside, something follows you out. And it waits until you start to question your own mind. So if you ever find that house in the woods, old, broken, the door slightly open like it's inviting you in, don't go inside. Because if you do, it'll never really let you go. If you felt your skin crawl or held your breath while listening, you're not alone. Dark places like that house exist, and they don't forget those who enter. If you want more real-life inspired horror stories like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a new nightmare. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever seen something you can't explain. We are always watching and always listening because here at Insidious Inc., the stories never really end.